challenges. Particularly, it has helped in the maintenance of accurate and up-to-date voters register and ensuring efficient election results management. The innovative use of IT systems, for instance, has reinforced the credibility of the voter registration and the e-collation systems. I think this is one area where we have to pay a lot of attention. We have done very well in terms of using technology to compile and manage our voters register, but we also need to consider using technology towards e-collation. If it is done and it is done well, it adds tremendous credibility to the process. But the challenges are there. We have heard of what happened in Kenya. If you deploy technology and you don't manage it well, it can also cause you considerable embarrassment, and it may even undermine the credibility of the election.
Chairman, Independence National Electoral Commission, Professor Tahiru Jaga. Moving on to other stories now, the Senate has deferred the debate on the 2014-2016 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper submitted by the executive. This is to allow the Committee on Budget to investigate the document's claims before conducting the debate. The executive had insisted that as a result of oil theft and illegal bunkering, it had opted to project crude oil production for 2014 at 2.38 million barrels per day. But a federal lawmaker, Senator George Akume, pointed out that the document was flawed.
When the lead debate was being read, it became also very clear that certain processes and procedures have not been followed in the preparation of this document. Consultation with the states was not done. Consultation with the National Assembly and other relevant agencies of government was not done. And that is why we are here where we are today, with a lot of distortions, with a lot of projections, but again with nothing to show for it. If we refer this document now directly to the Finance Committee, Mr. President, I think very seriously that certain things will be missing. This document, in spite of time targeting, I believe seriously is flawed and therefore should be reworked within the shortest possible time by the executive.
Our committee that is supposed to deal with the matter of budget, the Committee on Finance, will have actually looked at this paper and given us their own investigations and their own side of the story, so that when we're looking at this, we will not just be debating what comes from the government side.
Still to come on News Track, the university lecturer strike is taking too much attention. Well, that's coming from a group of concerned professionals who insist that other areas of education in the country are being allowed to suffer.
And NEMA and the Imo State government prepare ahead of the flood that was predicted.
Well, we'll be right back.
Many factors define your health. Some you can control, while others are simply beyond you. On Health News, we highlight all these factors and through medical experts provide information that will help you take informed decisions on healthy living, nutrition, and keeping fit. Get incisive health policy analysis. Health News, promoting good health.
You can get more on our top stories and other programs on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb.
You can also get us on the move by visiting m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone, or BlackBerry. Also, download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 from their respective stores. As the ASU strike lingers on, some concerned professionals have called on the government to pay attention to basic and technical education in the country. They insist that too much attention is being paid to the strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, while other aspects of education, which are far-reaching challenges, are allowed to suffer. They proposed that a constructive framework be evolved to address the educational crisis in the country. Our correspondent Omologon Nadi reports.
Come October 1, Nigeria will celebrate 53 years of independence. On the same day, the recent strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, will be 90 days old. This was the premise upon which these concerned professionals gathered to discuss the state of the education system in the country and the crisis rocking the sector, which they say must be brought to an end.
By the way, keeping young kids at home for 90 days is a national security challenge. Deviant behavior rises. Lots of young kids, for instance, lots of young girls will get avoidable pregnancy. Lots of young kids are going to get avoidable STDs because they are not otherwise engaged. We're not providing them with leisure, we're not providing them with instruction, we're not providing them with values. Their teachers are unemployed, and there is going to be a problem.
On another note, the group believe that the ASU strike appears to be taking a lot of attention away from other aspects of education, which they say require much more intervention than the universities.
The ASU, they have taken over the entire space for policy formulation for education. Because every year you're having negotiations for strike, negotiations for conditions of service. So there are major governance issues around tertiary education that we must come up with solutions that will bring the issue of strike to an end.
Gathered round this table, these professionals are determined that a change be brought to the education sector, and they say that while more funding is required, the private sector must partner with government to lessen the burden on government. They propose that all Nigerians take more interest in the sector, as indifference is no longer an option. Omelogo Nadi Channels Television News.
As part of measures to prevent a recurrence of the flooding that ravaged most parts of the country last year, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in collaboration with Imo State Emergency Management Agency, has established an IDP camp in Aloma community of Oguta local government area in Imo State. During a one-day interactive and sensitization workshop at the camp premises, the Director General of NEMA, Muhammad Zidi, explained that the agency is prepared to avert the untold hardship that accompanied last year's unprecedented floods.
The loss of lives and property, the displacement of people. These were some of the effects of the floods of 2012. This year, the emergency management agencies are saying prevention is better than cure.
Our experience of last year, where we had serious flooding, the community that were flooded were not well sensitized. They don't know what to do and they don't know where to go when they have that flood incident.
He believes even if the floods occur, the negative impact won't be as disastrous because of the early warnings. But he advised the people not to hesitate in evacuating their communities to the already provided camps when the need arises.
The National Emergency Management Agency and the State Emergency Management Agency have come together to work very closely to sensitize those communities that we consider vulnerable communities, and also to identify places where if there is a flood disaster, the people of those communities can be easily advised and evacuated.
After the workshop, the representatives of the various communities commended the management of NEMA for the early moves.
It's a very welcome development because it's better to be proactive in anything you are doing. Like the NEMA and SEMA people said, the thing took them by surprise last year, and they didn't want it to be like that this year, because it's better
you save life. Anything you spend in order to save life and property is better. In fact, I was so happy what they did, how he expressed everything and what they have been doing for our community, especially during the time of flooding.
The workshop was attended by non-governmental organizations, faith-based organizations, and various organizations within the state.